Hi everyone, I'm Carl. Welcome back to the Renko Trading channel. Before we start, this content is for educational and experimental purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Today, we're going to talk about Renko settings, because once you dial in the right settings for your trading style and your comfort level with risk, Renko can become one of the simplest and most effective ways to follow trends. Renko is supposed to reduce noise, clean up the chart, and make trends easier to see. With the right setup, Renko trading can feel smooth and structured, especially compared to staring at candles all day. But if your settings are off, Renko can start to feel messy. Your signals get harder to spot, your entries feel inconsistent, and the chart starts sending mixed messages. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the Renko settings that actually matter, and why fixing these first makes a huge difference. So let's start with the big one, because this setting controls almost everything you see on a Renko chart. Brick size. Brick size is basically the sensitivity dial for Renko. A smaller brick size means you get more bricks, more flips, and more detail. But you also get more noise. A larger brick size gives you fewer bricks and smoother trends. But your signals can come later because the chart needs more movement before it prints a new brick. So the easiest way to think about brick size is this. Small bricks means more control and more decisions. Big bricks means fewer decisions and smoother trends. So here's the question that a lot of people ask once they understand small bricks versus big bricks. If smaller bricks create more noise, does that mean you'll have smaller drawdowns? And if you use bigger bricks, does that mean the drawdowns get bigger when the trend finally reverses? And yes, that idea is basically true. Here's the trade-off. With a small brick size, you get more flips and more signals, which means you'll often exit sooner when price starts turning. So your drawdowns can stay smaller, because the chart reacts faster. But the downside is, you might get chopped up. More noise can mean more whipsaws and more small losses. On the other hand, with a large brick size, the chart filters out a lot of that noise, and you stay in trends longer. That's great when the trend is clean. But when the trend truly reverses, the chart may not flip right away, because it needs a bigger move before it confirms. So yes, your drawdown can be larger before you finally get that exit signal. Alright, now that brick size makes sense, let's move to the next setting. Wicks. A lot of traders turn Wicks on, see a bunch of extra spikes, and think something is wrong with their Renko chart. But Wicks don't change the brick logic. They simply show you the extra price movement inside the brick. And even though Wicks can add useful detail, Renko decisions are still based on the brick closes. That close is what confirms the direction and prints the next brick. So the real question is, do you want a clean Renko chart that focuses on trend direction? Or do you want the extra detail Wicks provide for trade management? Okay, so now let's look at the Tesla daily Renko chart, and in TradingView you can see we've got Wicks enabled on the Renko bricks. Now the strategy I'm using here is a Renko 3 brick trend strategy. That means once we set the brick size, we wait until we get 3 consecutive green bricks in the same direction, and then we buy on the close of the next brick. So right here, you can see the 3 bricks form, 1, 2, 3. And then on the 4th brick, even though there's a wick on it, it still closes successfully, so that's our entry. And this is the key point. The wick doesn't change the signal. Because our rule is based on the brick closes and the count of consecutive bricks, not the little spikes inside the brick. Now the sell rule works the same way. We wait for the opposite direction to form 3 consecutive red bricks down, and then we sell on the close of the next brick. So as this trend continues upward, you'll notice there are a few wicks along the way. But they don't change anything, because we never get 3 consecutive down bricks. We simply stay in the position until the downtrend forms 3 in a row. And then we take the sell on the next brick close, right here. So that's why I say it like this. Wicks add visual detail, but they don't change the Renko strategy decision. Now that we've covered Wicks, let's talk about the last setting that really matters. Reversal logic. This is the part that explains why Renko sometimes feels late. Most Renko charts don't reverse direction instantly. They usually need confirmation. So if you're in an uptrend, price has to fall enough to print the first opposite brick. And then keep going far enough to confirm the reversal, such as breaking the trend line or support zone, double top pattern, etc. That's what helps Renko avoid flipping back and forth on tiny moves. But it also means your exits can come later than you expect, especially if you're used to candle charts. So the trade-off is simple. More confirmation means fewer fake reversals, but later entries and exits. Now that we understand the trade-off, cleaner signals versus fewer trades, the next step is proving it on an actual chart. So I'm going to walk through this strategy on a gold Renko chart in TradingView, and then we'll compare brick sizes 3, 4, 5, and 6. This strategy is basically a reversal confirmation breakout system. It waits for Renko to flip direction, then it waits for structure, meaning swing highs and swing lows, and then it only buys when price breaks the last swing high. So we're not guessing bottoms. We're waiting for confirmation. So the whole goal is to catch the bigger gold trend moves and ignore the little fake flips. It's basically confirm the reversal, then ride the breakout. Now, the big variable with Renko is brick size. Smaller bricks react faster, but they can be noisy. Larger bricks react slower, but they tend to filter out more junk. So I'm testing brick sizes 3, 4, 5, and 6 to see which one gives the best balance of profit, drawdown, and stability. When I compare these, I'm looking at 5 things: total profit, max drawdown, total trades, win rate, and profit factor. And I want to emphasize, win rate alone doesn't matter. Profit factor and drawdown are much more meaningful for a trend strategy. First, brick size 3 is the most sensitive one in this group. It reacts quickly, so it catches more reversals and it generates more trades. Here the system made about 394,000 in total profit, with 26 trades, and about 54% win rate. The trade-off is drawdown. This one hits about 22% drawdown, which is the highest of the group. So brick size 3 is basically more opportunities, faster reaction, but also more bumps and more chop. Now brick size 4 is where things start to smooth out. We drop from 26 trades down to 21 trades, so it's filtering noise. Total profit is lower than brick 3, around 318,000, but look at this. Drawdown drops to about 19% and profit factor improves to about 4.9. This is a great example of the Renko trade-off. Less activity, but higher quality. And also notice the win rate is actually lower here, but profit factor is better. That tells me the winners are doing the heavy lifting, which is exactly what a trend strategy should do. Now one thing I want you to notice is when the equity curve starts doing the heavy lifting. With brick size 3, the strategy is pretty flat through 2022, but you can see it starts climbing as early as 2023. That tells me brick size 3 is reacting sooner to trend changes and getting involved earlier. But with brick size 4, the curve stays flatter longer. It's mostly flat through 2022 and even into 2023, and the bigger climb really starts showing up in 2024. That's the filtering effect. It waits longer before it commits to the move. Brick size 5 gets even quieter. Now we're down to 16 trades, so we're taking only the most obvious swings. Total profit drops again to about 197,000, but profit factor climbs over 5. This is the classic confirmation style. Fewer trades, fewer signals, but the ones you do take are more trend-focused. Drawdown is still around 20%, so you're not escaping risk completely, but the strategy is definitely more selective here. Brick size 6 is the most filtered version of the strategy. Only 14 trades, so it's very selective. Profit falls to about 123,000, and profit factor is still strong at 4.69. Now drawdown comes in around 22% again, which might surprise you. So bigger bricks don't automatically mean lower drawdown. They just change the shape of the equity curve and the timing of entries and exits. Now look at brick 5's equity curve. Notice how it stays pretty flat for a longer stretch early on. That's the cost of heavier confirmation. Brick 5 is ignoring a lot of smaller swings, so it's not trading much during sideways periods. But once the strategy does lock into the bigger trend move, the curve makes a noticeable jump and then holds those gains pretty well. So brick 5 is basically less action early, but cleaner participation when the real trend shows up. Now brick 6 is even more extreme. The curve is flatter for even longer, because the brick size is larger and it needs a bigger move before anything triggers. And when it finally moves, you'll notice the gains come in fewer chunks, meaning fewer entries, fewer exits, but bigger trend segments. The downside is brick 6 can sometimes feel late, because it waits so long that by the time it confirms, part of the move is already gone. If your goal is maximum profit, brick size 3 wins here, but it comes with more volatility and the roughest drawdown. If your goal is balance, brick size 4 is the sweet spot in this test. It has fewer trades, lower drawdown than brick 3, and a much better profit factor. Brick sizes 5 and 6 are more conservative, more filtered, fewer trades, but the profit drops off. They are clean, but they are slower. And this right here is the trade-off we talked about. Confirmation reduces noise, but you can literally see the cost on the equity curve. It stays flat longer. Brick 3 starts rising sooner because it fires earlier and takes more signals. Brick 4 filters more, so it joins the move later. And when you step up to brick 5 and brick 6, that confirmation gets even stronger. They are not better or worse. They are just different personalities, more patience, fewer trades, and later participation. So now that you've seen the backtest results, here's the real takeaway. When you're backtesting a Renko strategy and trying to choose a brick size, you don't want to focus on just one number like total profit or win rate. You also want to look at drawdown and the equity curve behavior. And what I mean by that is simple. Is the drawdown so steep that it would make you anxious and tempt you to jump in emotionally and mess with the system? And does this brick size work only when the market is trending, or does it also hold up when the market goes flat and choppy? Because some brick sizes can look amazing during big trends, but they struggle when price goes sideways. So in the end, you want a brick size that fits the type of market you're trading and the type of experience you personally can stick with. Today we talked about 3 things: brick size, Wicks, and reversal logic. First, brick size controls how sensitive Renko is. Smaller bricks react faster and give you more signals, but they can also pull you into more noise. Bigger bricks filter more noise and trade less, but they'll usually confirm later and stay flatter longer during sideways periods. Second, Wicks add important context. They show where price tried to go, even when the bricks look clean. Wicks help you spot volatility, rejection, and those moments where the market is testing levels and snapping back. Third, the big one is reversal logic. A Renko reversal by itself isn't enough. What really matters is confirmation, which is why I used a breakout-based reversal system here. Wait for the reversal, let structure form, and then confirm the move by breaking the swing high. When you combine that kind of confirmation logic with different brick sizes, you can see how the performance changes and why the equity curves don't all behave the same way. So the real takeaway is this: Renko isn't about finding the perfect brick size. It's about using a brick size that fits your style and risk tolerance, and pairing it with reversal confirmation that helps you avoid the worst whipsaws. And when you backtest your own settings, don't just look at profit. Look at the drawdown, the equity curve behavior, and how it performs in both trend and chop. That's a wrap on today's breakdown. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and hit subscribe for more Renko trading insights. Don't forget the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next one.